Okay, welcome back. We previously talked about CSS3 animations and how to trigger them with or without the help of JavaScript or Flash or any other kind of programming language. And some feedback came my way that encouraged me to find a more practical use for CSS3 animation. So I've come up with this, and this is a little bit more practical than simply showing what an animation is and how it is triggered. So I have a couple of different options here. For one, I have different animation types. Now, we're not going to take a look at a whole lot of code because we're going to keep this simple and brief just to build off of what was talked about earlier. But what I'm going to do is I'm just changing the size of the keyframes here, the size of the animations. Now I have a duration here where I can specify the duration of how long my transition lasts. I can go from 0 to however high of a number I want. I also have a delay if I want to specify a delay. For right now, let's go ahead and leave that at 0 because we want our animation to play out right away. The iteration count I have specified as the amount of times the animation will play. For now, let's just go ahead and leave that as infinite so that we can see it all the time. These directions and the speed curve here, I won't spend a whole lot of time explaining those. So let's go ahead and animate this and see what it looks like. Every 5 seconds, I get another color. So let's go ahead and increase that to 10. And let's go ahead and play around with this a little bit. So the delay, I don't really need to specify a delay, but let's go ahead and just put it to 2 seconds. See what happens. I'll click animate again. Now I have another animation that's playing directly below the one at the top. So building off of what was talked about earlier, how we can trigger these animations with or without the help of JavaScript, we can trigger these animations directly in our CSS, and this is another more in-depth, real-world, practical use of how to trigger transitions, where we can specify our keyframes, we can specify our durations, and we could do all sorts of stuff to change our animations that we want to play out on our screen. Let's briefly take a look at some code here. I do have a JavaScript file that's going to help me with my animations in this particular code. And really what the JavaScript is it's this box right here. It helps me with my iteration count and all that such. My color, my CSS changes are taken directly here in my CSS code. I have 0, 25%, 50. Every time it reaches a new percentage, it is displayed as a different color. So take a look at this one more time, and that is it for our short video building upon what we talked about earlier and a resubmission of CSS3 animations.